Hello, Ralph Davella back to present the legendary Carmine Caruso trumpet lesson number 6. Today's focus will be on the pedal exercise. I will show you the pedals, I will tell you the rules and how to play them, and I will play them along with you. Some people believe that the lower you can play on the trumpet, the higher you can play. Well, Carmine Caruso's reason for giving the pedals was a little different than that. He believed that the pedals would bring blood to the lips, give you better endurance, and most importantly, set up a good natural embouchure. Carmine Caruso did not believe in manipulating the embouchure very much, if at all. This exercise, if done correctly, will bring you a better balanced embouchure. This is the pedal exercise. So, the pedal exercise is arpeggios, and arpeggios down. I would like to go over the rules on how we're going to do this. So, the rules on how to play the exercise are written here. So, the metronome is set at 60. Now, you can get the 60 beat, but you don't need to keep the metronome on if you don't want to. If you want to, you can. But that's the speed we want to play in. So, we're going to play quarter note, quarter note, quarter note, and then the last note will hold out. And we'll do the same thing on all of them. Quarter, 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 hold out the last note. Okay, and then you can tongue the first note of each arpeggio, and then you slur the rest of them. Let the mouthpiece slide back in place to where it wants to go after each arpeggio. You're going to find that as you get into the lower arpeggios, the mouthpiece is going to want to go where it wants to go in order for you to get that note. So when you finish it, you don't take it off and then put it back on. Keep your lips a little wet, let it slide back into place where you can get the next note. And that would be your natural position. Breathing through the nose, so same thing as when we're doing the intervals or the 6 notes, we're breathing in through the nose and continue down as far as possible. Also, the last thing I want to tell you as far as the rules go, once we get below the low F sharp, G flat, F sharp, same thing, you can use the fingerings that you use on the octave above. For instance, if you're going to play the low F, you can use the first finger or the E, first and second finger. You also, if that gets confusing for you, you can do all the notes below the F sharp and below, holding it down 1, 2, and 3. That's fine. If that works good for you and it helps you get the notes, you can do that. Also, if it helps you get the notes to leave no fingers down open, that also works. You can achieve these notes with any fingerings. Sometimes I like to try to stick to the regular fingering just so I have an idea of where I'm at when I'm doing this. And sometimes you sort of lose your place. Okay, let's play this exercise now. Okay, so that's that exercise. Now, you could continue down, keep going down, 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 till no notes come out, whatever. That's the way to do it. But on paper, I think that's enough to see on paper to get the idea. So I just want to play a couple of these for you so you can see the trumpet and what's happening. And as far as not taking it off and breathing into your nose and letting it slide back into place. We play from the low C to the pedal C. And just to show you how much farther lower you can go, I'll do from the low C to the double pedal C. And so forth. So those pedal studies should become part of your everyday routine. Right now, I would just like to show you what we did so far and how you can go back and review whichever lesson you would like to review. This will only take a minute. First thing we did was the 6 notes, and it tells you how to play the 6 notes properly and correctly. That is the first thing you need to remember. So that was in lesson 1 if you want to go back and check that. In lesson 2 we did the seconds, the interval of the seconds, showing the rules for playing the intervals of the seconds, which applies to all the intervals, whether you're playing the second, thirds, fourth, fifth, sixth, sevenths, or octaves. In the 3rd lesson, we presented the harmonics, and we explained the harmonics to you, and that was in the 3rd lesson if you want to go back to review that. And in the 4th lesson, we started the Clark book the way Carmine Caruso would present it. He presented it a couple different ways, but you go back and I'll show you how to get started with the Clark book and how Carmine teaches the Clark book. And then in lesson 5, I gave some tips on Caruso's exercises and how to keep your lips fresh, practicing a certain exercise, chromatics down, low chromatics, holding the low F sharp. That's very important, so you can go back and review that. And then lesson 6, which is now, is I presented the pedal exercise, keeping your lips fresh while building your range. Okay, so this is just a chart so you could check out what you like to go back and review, and maybe like in another couple months, the lessons to come, we'll do the same review type thing. Okay, so for those of you who are following lesson by lesson, we're up to lesson 6. Let me show you what we do for lesson 6 now. Alright, let's go over lesson 6. So the 6 notes is the first thing we're doing. These are the 6 notes as you know. And if you have any questions about it, you go back to lesson 1. That's the 6 notes. Second thing we're going to do is the 6th. Last week we did the 5ths. So we have to follow the rules on the intervals, which is very important. If you don't follow the rules on the intervals, you're not going to get the right benefits. So these are the 6th. If you need the rules on the 6th, go back to lesson 2, the seconds, and it shows you the rules for all the intervals. Then the 3rd thing we're going to do is what we learned today, the pedal studies, which we went over all the rules. Then the 4th thing we're going to do the harmonics. The harmonics was also in the lessons we gave, and if you need to go back and review that, you can also do that. The harmonics here I'm showing you always up to pedal C. So every single position 1 through 7 goes up to the double C, the double high C. So you don't need to do that. You can just pick a note that you're comfortable with in there, whether it's a C or a D or E, and you can stick with it on all the positions, or you can just do it until you feel. So I would say for now, don't go that high. If you can go above the C, 1 or 2 notes, that's great. If not, just as high as you can go comfortably and stop. And then the next thing we're going to do, which is the fifth thing, is you're going to choose, these exercises we went over last week. You could choose between the chromatics down, the low chromatics, or holding the F sharp. This helps bring blood back to the lips, helps keep you fresh, helps keep you playing. You don't need to do all 3 of these because now the lessons are getting long, so you can just choose one of the 3 to do. And then after that, we're going to do the Clark book. So let me show you the Clark book one more time. The Clark book we introduced in lesson 4. So you can go back to lesson 4 if you'd like to see how we introduced that to you. So basically how we do this, we basically do 6 at a time. So we learn 6, we slur them slowly. Then we get faster at it, and then we'll slur them as triplets or 6 notes in 1 beat. We do 6, and then we do the next 6. So if we do 1 through 6, and then the next 6, which is 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. You'll take the first 6 after you get good at it and do them fast. And then you'll take the next 6 and do them slowly. And then we continue from there. We'll go with the next 6. And then we'll do these faster and we'll do the next 6 slowly. And that continues to the end of the exercise. Till we get to the final end of the exercise, which we'll be doing slowly. Then after we get good at it, we're doing faster. So I explained in lesson 4, if you like to just go over it a little slower. Carmine Caruso also used to make people go back and tongue these exercises also. But he would make a lot of the students really not do it that way. He would just slur the book the first time through and then go back and then start tonguing it. And so I prefer to do the slurring the first time through myself. So after we get done with these exercises, we'll start lesson 2. Which is study 2, which we'll start that on the next lesson. We're not going to start it on this lesson. So finish up with lesson 1, see how good you can get at it, and then we'll see about starting study 2. There's no rush to get through this book, because you can play this book for as long as you play the trumpet. So just work on lesson 1, get those under your fingers very, as perfectly as you can. Then we'll talk about the second study. Okay, thank you for watching the legendary Carmine Caruso lesson number 6. This is the student Ralph Davella. See you next month for lesson number 7.